there, Internet, MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we are going to do something that I never thought I would do in this channel, and that is playing Leona. Because I have always said that Leona is perhaps one of the most boring champions in Legends of Runeterra due to the fact that her play pattern is very rigid, really, as it revolves around daybreak units, right? So units that you are supposed to play at the very beginning of the round in order to get the bonus effect off of them. We have turn 1 Solari Soldier, we got Solari Shield Bearer, and then we got the Priestess into Leona, into Raven. Shocker. Like, this is basically the exact same core for every Leona deck under the sun. Pun intended. Don't unsubscribe, please. We have a reason to play Leona, though, in conjunction with Demacia, and that is, I'm taking quite a bit of inspiration from the recent lab event for KDA. I don't know if you guys have tried them out yourselves. I did showcase the lab in a couple of videos ago, actually, in my return from my vacation. It's one of the things that I actually am a little bit upset about regarding my vacation. The fact that I missed out on the opportunity to play labs more, because it's actually, in my opinion, by far the best lab event we've had up to date. I think the way they designed the decks and the perks of having each deck have a specific ability that would, you know, synergize with what it's trying to do, I thought was super clever. I thought the way they executed it was pretty much close to perfect. All decks felt like they had their good matchups, and they felt like they were somewhat balanced, really. And it was just a great event that was also very inspiring to me as a constructed deck builder. I got a lot of very neat ideas from there. Like I mentioned, I really like the interaction between Go Hard and Mechanist, Chief Mechanist Zevi, which is a deck idea that I am going to be exploring in the future. And I also like the way that they showcased Out of the Way. Out of the Way is one of the new spells in the regarding the KDA theme, really, that says for the rest of the game, allied buffs, except for Barrier, because that would be fundamentally busted, are permanent. And then you draw one, so this card replaces itself. At first glance, this card seems like pretty legit, right? Until you realize that you want to be playing multiple copies of Out of the Way, and that in itself is a problem. The problem being that you don't want to draw multiple copies of this card. You want to draw Out of the Way, but you don't want to draw 2 or 3 copies of this, because once you play the first, the second and the third are basically going to be 5 mana, slow speed, draw a card spells. And that's yeah, that's not really good. I don't think I have to explain too much why that is a little bit underwhelming, which makes it so that we are actually running 2 copies of Out of the Way. Now, one of the neat things about the event, the lab specifically, is that they had it so that you would draw Out of the Way at the beginning of, in your opening hand, basically, every single time. So that allowed for some nice consistency that would not really plague constructed, even though I don't know how big of an issue that would be in ranked, to be fair, because after having played enough with this card, it's safe to assume that it is the worst out of the bunch. Like, Go Get It, Go Hard, these names, man. The Piltover 8 mana one, you know, with the microphone, and what other ones are we mentioning? What other ones are there? Am I missing? I'm missing one. Go Get It, Go Hard, the microphone dancing one, Out of the Way, and the last one. Why am I drawing a blank here? Give me a second. I need to actually remember this. Shit. God, I can't. I can't play the labs anymore. I can't check. Oh my god, dude. Well, I have the event here. Give It All is one of them. Out of the Way. Go Hard. Oh, and Feel the Rush. Feel the Rush. Feel the Rush is the first one. Yeah, that's the one I forgot to mention. So, Jesus. So Feel the Rush is also really strong. Like, all of those other cards are, in my opinion, better than Out of the Way, because for the most part, you don't feel bad about drawing multiple copies of them, even though Feel the Rush and Give It All are pretty expensive. But they're also very strong win conditions on their own. Those cards are generally finishing the game as soon as they're played, more or less. Well, Out of the Way is actually a pretty slow play. It's a very big tempo sacrifice for a very neat payoff that we really got to see in that deck with Leona and Shyvana. I took Shyvana out of the equation because honestly, Shyvana was pretty horrible in that deck. Yes, she synergizes with Out of the Way, and she's even better because of the fact that there was a special ability in that event that allowed you to get +1/+1 whenever you attacked, right? Or give it temporarily, even though Out of the Way changed that. Now, with that change, I felt like going all in on Leona. And the reasoning behind that is because one of the key cards that like synergize well with this are the first couple of Solari units. The Soldier and the Shield Bearer, to be precise, will gain a considerable amount of stats permanently after we have played Out of the Way. Our Shield Bearer will become a 2-mana 3/6, which is pretty good, and our Solari Soldier will become a 1-mana 3/3, which is pretty neat. Also, every time we go for Pill Cascade from that point onwards, it will be a permanent buff, which will make this card even more broken than it already is. And obviously, one of the key things is how it works with Ranger's Resolve, as we will be able to grant our allies tough for 1 mana at burst speed after we've gone for Out of the Way, which is really, really satisfying. Super fun, man. We have that alongside Sithria the Bold as our late game bomb, as every time we attack with Sithria the Bold, we will be granting the battling allies not only stats, but also the fearsome keyword as well, which is really cool. And that's basically the idea of this deck. We have a mid-range list that's combining the best of Demacia and Targon in what is a Daybreak-focused Leona curve that tries to capitalize on Out of the Way by having a bunch of effects that will be exacerbated after we've resorted to that. And then we have single combat for interaction with the opponent alongside Sunburst. The reason why we're playing Sunburst is because it's one of the more reliable ways that Targon has of dealing with the likes of Trundle. Before Trundle levels up, a Sunburst, especially against the Shadow Owls variant, which is the majority of Trundle decks right now, they will not be able to stop Sunburst from killing Trundle, right? If he's not leveled up, even if they have Troll Chant, it doesn't matter. Sunburst will silence Trundle and then knock him out, which is really important because if you're able to knock out Trundle effective immediately in that matchup, they lose a lot of momentum because they actually ride a lot on that one unit. Trundle on the board allows them to really have the space to make use of their spells and stall the game enough while also generating a win condition themselves, right? So if we're able to shut that down instantly, that's very important. And that's the deck list right there. Also, Triple Relentless Pursuit is very important as well because it does give us the edge against these late game greedy ramp decks, as we have to build up and find out the best turn to catch them off guard and potentially even rally multiple times, as we are running a full set of this card. So that's the deck list right there. Like I said, a Leona deck is pretty straightforward, but I really thought Out of the Way provides a very nice twist to the Daybreak archetype and gives us enough of a reason to showcase it again on the channel. Let me know what you guys think. This is not a top tier deck by any means. There have been some big weaknesses that I have been noticing as I've been trying this out in ranked, but it's done enough. We actually have a positive win rate with it in Masters, which is really neat. And that was my phone there. And I think today's gameplay is also pretty fun, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And I will stop talking. Have a solid day. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. I do post a new deck every single day, so leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. It's free. Free is good. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, watching my video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, here we go. As we are facing good old Scouts round 1. So this matchup should be interesting. Our objective is to outmuscle them a little bit. We do have good interaction, as I am going to keep most of this curve, actually. Yeah, I think keeping Raven in my opener is completely fine. Bird is also nice, so I will be able to throw in quite a bit here. With this deck, if we see Out of the Way in the opener, then we do want to carry over the mana, right? To go for a turn 3 Out of the Way. But also, depending on the matchup, you just sometimes just want to just go face. Be aggressive. Ranger's Resolve? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. There's so many more like threatening usages for that card that I'm not really worried. We're very likely to develop Solari Shield Spear. Ooh.
Strength and grace, beauty in the blade.
I kind of want to go for this, honestly. I don't draw, but
scorching light. I'll stop you.
yeah, I'm gonna offer this trade.
I'm actually here.
And now, bitch, get out the way. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way. I'm very sorry. Alright, so now we go for a big tempo sacrifice that's supposed to lead to great fortune and just wonderfulness.
Nothing gets between me and my mark.
I could play Solaris Shieldbearer, but I'm just gonna play Raven. That just completely halts them, which is hilarious. As we have a lot of options here. I think I definitely want to lead off with you though.
My faith protects me.
Now we get a 2-mana 3/7,
One of the good
3/6,
guys, but not that good.
which is pretty neat. I'm gonna go for the tracker.
We will not suffer unbelievers.
They will not escape punishment. To the sun! Follow the horizon.
Wow. That's a lot of damage. We're definitely gonna make him burn that mana. We are definitely making him burn that mana.
There's nothing like it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Do some combat here. I'm gonna lead off with you.
Bask in her radiant blessing. Back, heretic. Mwah. I'm sorry. Ah. Valor, to me. Scouting ahead. You cannot sway me. Love ya.
Alright, I'm thinking here. Okay, so it comes down to Ranger's Resolve. He's already played one prematurely, so I'm gonna hope the card game gods punish my opponent for that. As we go for a Meteor Shower here. Ranger's Resolve is a guy. Oh! 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 Oh, baby, let's go. We wanna really threaten here. Our time is now!
We'll follow you to the edge of daybreak.
Where's the finale? Our time is now! Alright, let's... I think we should go Bryce Steel Protector here.
My shield is yours.
This allows us to apply a lot of pressure, and next turn we can go for the kill. Alright.
Devotion through battle.
All in. All in. We gotta force the blocks. We gotta force the blocks, baby. Alright.
So soon. My duty's done.
If we could trade... Okay, nice. Removing that challenger is really important. Super, super, super important. This Leona's a fantastic draw as well.
The wood can't fight back, but I can.
Cool story, girl.
I
Nice.
am the bulwark against darkness.
Nice. Let's get Mama Leona in there. Let's shut him down. There we go. Beautiful. They believe in Ball of Fire, guys. Don't take them too seriously. They're nice people. a bit misguided, non-scientific, but still people. All right, round 2. Okay, this brings me back to like vintage Spooky Karma. In case you guys don't know, vintage Spooky Karma was actually with Elise and not Thresh. It attempted to utilize the early game of spiders in conjunction with the inevitability that Karma's late game has to kind of like overwhelm the opponent and get all matchups, you know, handled. So this archetype really fell into obscurity though, as Karma was nerfed and the metagame evolved. But it doesn't mean it's bad. Tracker is nice in conjunction with Ranger's Resolve. That's something we gotta take into account here. As I just want to keep this hand, honestly. We're gonna play this. If he has a go hard, and that's fine. I know I could have used Ranger's Resolve, but I'd rather do it like this. Let's see how we draw here. Another Leona.
Clad in shining sunlight.
I'm gonna play the Shield Bearer because this will allow me to block into Elise if it comes down to that. Unlike the Solari Soldier, who will not be able to do that. We don't really need to worry about having Razor's Resolve available to us when they only have 2 mana. We have a 3/6. Right, so we're gonna go with that. If our opponent would like happen to top deck Elise now, we have a great answer to it here with the Solari Soldier.
I pull the strings. We will not suffer unbelievers.
They will
Unbelieve
not
us.
escape punishment.
And now is when we resort to Leona.
The dawn has arrived.
Carry her light across the mountain.
We're going for the stun. And our opponent goes for the vengeance, alright. That's great. Trading a 4-drop for a 7-mana card? I'll take it. Elise is out of the way.
Devotion through battle.
As we get to smack him. Smack him good. Alright, so I do like the idea of Leona here. Over Raven, definitely.
The dawn has arrived.
Carry her light across the
To
mountain.
shine like the sun, you must burn like it.
Let's make our opponent feel a little bit better about that vengeance early on. We're gonna stun Elise,
Sun's holy light.
as we also represent a fine looking blocker here for the Frenzy Skitter. Making our opponent cry uncle. Our opponent is not at Ruination range. I repeat, our opponent is not at Ruination range, which means we are going to go Cythria here. Even though Raven also makes sense, to be fair. Plus, I combine Raven with Ranger's Resolve and this. I get to stun you. Like, I get to remove a blocker this way. Even though Cythria... Because the thing about this is, if he does have another Vengeance... If I play Raven, he doesn't really have a great target. If I play Cythria, he's just gonna do that to Cythria. And then we're kind of like back where we started, right? What is correct here? Honestly, I think I may still just play...
Warriors of the Raharak, our time is now.
We'll follow you to the edge of daybreak.
He just denied, sorry. That's actually great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Now we have the Ranger's Resolve, if we need to resort to it. And we have Relentless Pursuit. So the odds of him being able to counter my Relentless Pursuit are also like less likely. That's really strong. Like when we get a deny out of him for just an effect like that, that's great.
Answer to me.
Answer to me! Yeah, let's go face.
Come, stay a while.
And let's go for that Ranger's Resolve. I don't know about you, but I really like the idea of that Ranger's Resolve. Bam, bam. I'm not gonna go for the Relentless Pursuit there because my opponent is keeping 4 mana, which leads me to believe that he doesn't have another deny. And if he does resort to Ruination, then we will win. By resorting to you. Even if he does have a go hard, he's still going home. That's hilarious. Yep. Pretty sure he has another deny in hand, which is why going for the Relentless Pursuit there would have just made us lose our chance to capitalize on him. And now we shut him down. Clean! That was pretty clean. Nice! I like that square number. Alright, let's go for another one. Okay. Ash Frostbite. This could be dangerous. Cards like Reckoning could be scary for sure. I definitely don't need stuff like Ranger's Resolve. Sunburst is alright, but I am going to mulligan everything except for the Solari Soldier. As I do want stuff like Out of the Way, or at least a Daybreak Curve for Leona. This hand's looking decent. It really does depend how our opponent curves out, though. I think I want to resort to Leona only when I actually manage to level her up, because otherwise she is very vulnerable to Culling Strike. Alright, there's no risk for me doing this. So, what cards could they play?
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics. They're out there.
Oh, spot.
Follow the horizon.
I'm gonna resort to this attack. Not going to utilize my tracker as I do have a Bright Steel Protector to combine it with. That's not a terrible draw, even though I've never seen like a single Ash mid-range deck run Avalanche, so I'm not gonna choose to play around that. And again, I'm not resorting to Leona until I have her leveled up. Yeah, not gonna do that.
Got your back.
Avalanche would be pretty hilarious here. There's no way, right? Okay, is it worth going for a single? I mean, no. It's not. It's not. Is it? I mean, Soul Combat is a bit of a liability in a matchup against those. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna Soul Combat. Because if he does have something like a Frostbite, then I'll trade that with that. But Soul Combat is not a reliable source of removal in a matchup like this, so I may as well use it to gain some momentum. Because he's already targeting this. I get to eliminate that body on the board. And I get to go face. Which puts him down to 10. Very, very important, because that's the way we're winning this game. We gotta smork him a little bit. Gotta smack him around a little bit. There's the Sunburst. This could be a decent play to go for if we see an Ash. Though, to be fair, if he does have an Ash, he can no longer combine it with Brutal Steel, which means that if we play Raven, we have this to block Ash. Oh, watch this. I don't know what he's saying, but yeah. Exactly! Okay, double Burk means there's no threat of a Reckoning, which means we, ladies and gentlemen, are going in. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Clad in shining sunlight.
We're gonna drop the Shield Bearer first. Because the Shield Bearer will allow us to get the level up on Leona, which means we are not vulnerable to a naked Culling Strike. He has to combine it with a Flash Freeze, and that would be the entirety of his turn, which would translate into a win, I believe. I haven't done the math yet, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Bow to no one.
Alright. Okay, so if we play Leona here, we stun you, then we attack with you,
Chosen of the sun. To shine like the sun, you must burn like.
I could remove Sejuani, but I do feel like this is better.
Glorious light rains down.
Especially because we could resort to the Relentless Pursuit next turn after we go for a Sunburst. Like, that's also a possibility. I'm gonna resort to utilizing my tracker as a way to take one of these down. I'm gonna attack with you, you, and you. I'm gonna keep this 2/2 in the back, because that means that if he blocks here and here, yeah, this is a win. No matter what, this is a win. Unless he chooses to block here, and no, I'm gonna attack like this. He needs to block one of these at the very least. Because the moment he blocks with the 2 Babbling Burks is the moment he's dead. That's why I'm keeping this guy in the back. I'm gonna make him think that I don't have a better attack. Yeah, this is done. It's over. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Relentless Pursuit, man. And people ask me, Mogwai, why are you so obsessed with Rally? Mogwai, every time you see a Rally card, it seems like you take it to the bathroom, and I don't know, like, you have a problem. You have a fetish. And it's true. I do. I have a big, big problem. I am addicted to this, but there's a reason why I'm addicted. There's a reason why people get addicted to shit. And that is because Rally is one hell of a finisher. And we knock out Ashe mid-range. Is that Latin? I would assume that's Latin. Fuck yeah, man. 3 games in a row. There we go. Alright, off to a good start. So, really, really solid games. I don't know, I mean, we haven't showcased out of the way that much, but we have showcased it, right? It would be nice to draw into it, though, because these past couple of games have just all been about the Daybreak Curve, and there's nothing really new about that. But I really want to showcase that spell more, so let's try. Let's go for another one. Okay, so we got a Shen Fiora matchup. Sometimes I wonder if running like Hush as a one-off or a 2-of would be nice here. I'm gonna drop Ranger's Resolve. I'm gonna keep the Bright Steel Protector, and I'm gonna keep the Sunburst as well. Am I? Because I was just thinking, like, Sunburst can knock out. Yeah, Sunburst can actually knock out the. No, but it's actually. It can bypass barrier, is what I'm trying to say. But unfortunately, it doesn't really do much more than that, and it gets countered by Deny, which is the main problem here. And our opponent seems to have.
Water changes but never breaks.
I don't know. I'm gonna play you first. In case you want to attack.
You're in over your head.
I gotta get rid of this. Do I? I think I do.
What form will the waters take? Waters are still.
I don't think Meteor Shower does that much in this matchup. It's more disruptible. The Warrior seems like a legit, like a solid unit here. Even though barriers are a thing. I'm gonna take the Traveler.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
It's a solid body that gives me
Space between worlds.
Okay. I don't want to play out the way into a Deny. That's what I'm trying to navigate around here. That's what we're trying to do here.
You're covered.
Duty, selflessness, heavy burdens.
Deny still exists as a possibility here.
Daylight warms the heart.
I'll take the Falling Comet. I'm gonna try to go for this. We could see a Deny. Yeah. It's gonna be tricky. Okay, six cards in hand. How do we approach this? What's the best line to play here?
A long path to get.
Consider strike takes her down.
You're covered.
Duty, selflessness, heavy burdens.
There still could be. I really want to take down this. If he has another deny, we're kind of screwed. If he has riposte, he also takes down my Cythria anyways. I think I have to live with this getting a barrier, to be honest.
You're covered.
I have to utilize this. I have to combine this with single combat. I have to use my life as a resource as well.
Honor guide me.
They are under my protection.
Shield up.
We gotta keep in mind, they can't use his signature spell. They need one more mana for that. So I'm keeping in mind like all the potential plays that they could go for. There's a lot to keep track of, you know, concerted strike, single combat, riposte, relentless pursuit. I gotta respect all that. But if he does go, if he goes for relentless pursuit, it's so fucked, dude. Gotta pass here.
Our strength is forever at its zenith.
Blessed daylight surrounds you.
Ours is the one true light.
Devotion through battle.
Zaharak, march!
Follow the horizon.
Nothing stands in our way.
If he has another like signature spell from Shen, we're kind of fucked too, anyways, as well. But I feel like I need to apply a little bit of pressure. I feel like I need to apply some sort of pressure.
I'll stop you.
All right, so we are gonna see Shen's barrier, I think.
We walk between realms.
No closer. I'll stop you.
But this also allows us to
As it had to be.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
could have relentless pursuit, but I'm gonna choose not to play around it.
What once was two, now is one.
All right.
The light of my stars guides all travelers onward. They must not waver from the true path.
Show them what we're made of.
The small must know when to fight. Descend upon them.
I have to attack like this. All right. We have these relentless pursuits, but we're not really able to break through their power here.
Believe or burn. Back, heretic. Have faith. Bonds. Behold the divine power.
Let's go for this.
Sun. First light illuminates the land. Bask in the light's radiance. I rise. Shield up. Honor guide me.
Reconsider. My journey ends.
Sun sets.
All right, so we're stuck with triple relentless pursuit. I don't know if I've been narrating much. I've been really focused on this game. It's a really nice game, but we just died of relentless pursuit here, by the way. I can't drop it and die to another one of those either.
Unyielding light.
Yikes, man, yikes.
I long for a worthy opponent.
And a long path to get
We gotta try, but I don't know how we do it. There's too many relentless pursuits here. Like they kind of continue to build up, and I was not able to get the upper hand. I'm not sure if I could have piloted this differently, but to be fair, this out of the way was a bit of a liability here. I could have timed it earlier.
scorching light.
I have to go with this, right? There's just no way I survive otherwise.
Is this supposed to be a challenge?
GG.
Counter and strike.
GG. Good game. What an asshole. I mean, to be fair, I emo too, right? So. Well, assholes can still call other people assholes. It's the right. Yeah, tough game. I'm not sure if I could have done things differently there. It was definitely a bit of a tough matchup because, I mean, the triple relentless pursuit may seem excessive, especially if you take that game into account. But it's so important for us to have a chance against control decks, which are really popular in the meta right now. So I stand behind the three of this. It's just that we basically ran out of ability to just power through because we're not playing stuff like Hush. We try to outmuscle our opponent, and we don't want to focus too many of our resources on like niche interaction, right? Which is why when we face a deck that plays kind of like ours, but instead of stunning and focusing on buffs, it has a shitload of barriers, we're going to have a tough time, even with cards like Sunburst, which are there to help out those type of matchups a little bit, which is why we have this instead of something like Concerted Strike, even though that is fast and slow. Being able to silence a unit and kill it is important, but that definitely feels like one of the rougher matchups. just because of the nature of the mid-range war that goes on from that. But I think it's still definitely winnable. Maybe if we could have played a little bit differently. I would have to look back into that game and see. I'm not saying I played perfectly by any means, but I don't know. I feel like it's definitely a tough one to win. So we're at it for 40 minutes. How about we go for one last game and see if we can get back to the 100s. All right, the good old War Mother matchup. This is why we run a full set of Relentless Pursuit. This matchup right here, we got out the way as well, which I'm pretty okay with, right? I do also like the single combat because it allows us to pick off the likes of, yeah, I'm gonna keep this in. It allows us to pick up the Warding Stones. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Raven as well because Raven is a good value generator for us. Since we're gonna go for like an out of the way that resembles a remembrance, right? There's the Warding Stones. Alright, get out the way. We may see a Vile Feast, yeah. Alright, this time we get to play this early on, so let's see if we can benefit. Okay, that's a good draw. That's a fantastic draw. That's a great way to start things. Now we just need to develop and apply pressure and develop a board state that will allow us to overwhelm them. Which is, of course, easier said than done, right? I will definitely block this. Next turn, we're gonna have 5 and 2. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I think I may just want to, like, Sunburst here. But at the same time, I have one more turn to deal with Trundle, even though if they ramp, that's just not the case, right? And dealing with Trundle is actually very important. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, dealing with Trundle is pretty key. That's why I run Sunburst in this deck, because of how prevalent this champion is. We do see an avalanche go down, alright. I'm not gonna resort to Solari Soldier here, I'm just gonna pass. He delayed our attack, but again, we got double Relentless Pursuit. We just need to develop a strong board state, and then we can go on from there. Now we have the ability to go Raven into single combat.
May our light shine forever.
Because next turn, if I don't do anything and they ramp with this, next turn they have the ability to go for Rush. Which is something we cannot afford. So we need to single combat this, and we need to hope they don't have a Troll Chant or a Flash Freeze, because those are the only ways of preventing that. Good. We also need to hope for no other Warding Stones. Okay, that means we don't have to worry about Field of Rush this turn, which is very key. I think I would like to just lead off an attack here, especially because he's gonna drop this Ice Pillar, right? The problem with this line of play is that we don't have.
Face to the sun.
We need some damage. That is quite impressive. I'm gonna drop you.
Ours is the one true light.
We technically represent lethal here. If they go for a Field of Rush next turn, can we punish that? We need a Leona. We need a Leona. Man, we need a Leona, so if we top deck Leona, we pretty much win. If we go double Relentless Pursuit here, It is risky. He very clearly wants to make that play. Ah, man, no. I needed a unit there. Oh, a War Mother's Call. Wait, that changes everything. That changes everything. So, oh my god. I'm gonna cheat this way.
Stand and defend.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's why we play. That's why we play Triple Relentless Pursuit. For the... Oh, boy. Whew, okay. There we go. That felt so... that felt so sleazy. That's so dirty. And we got the bonus. Beautiful. Alright, so that's why we play Triple Relentless Pursuit, ladies and gentlemen. Precisely because of that. Because there's a lot of, like, ramp matchups. Feel the Rush would have been brutal there. To be fair, we drew... That's one of the things also that I have to figure out with this deck. Like, 16... I don't think I want to go below 16 spells because all these spells feel really important, right? But sometimes you draw too many. And you're not able to, like... We drew very poorly during a portion of that game. You know, even though Raven gave us good card draw there, we really needed Leona. If we have Leona, we can develop Leona, and then we can go for the Morning Light, we can go for Relentless Pursuit, and we can go for the kill with that sort of play, even after a Field of Rush, right? But with standard War Mother's Call, like, we're able to punish that all day. And that's why cards like these are so important in a deck like this. I want to clarify that this deck is definitely not tier 1, you know, even though we did really good with it in today's session, like we went 4-1. I have tested this deck prior, and, you know, it does struggle in certain matchups, and Out of the Way is definitely a bit of a slow win condition. I definitely would argue this is one of the more competitively disappointing cards from the new KDA cards. It's still, like I said, it's still really cool. And there's a lot of potential synergy here, and I love it, especially with cards like Solari Shieldbearer, and also with Leona's signature spell as well, and with Cythria. But you gotta keep in mind that, you know, this is as an archetype, as a strategy using this, I feel like this deck is still missing a little bit of something. I'm not sure what it is, but we are packing a bit of a bunch for us to be like tier 1, right? But it's still a solid deck that's fun to play. You know, I actually haven't had fun playing Leona in a very long time. I always found her to be so boring, but, you know, with this strategy, she's actually, I don't know, she's neat. I like her. So that's where I'll end that at. We're almost at like 1 hour here. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content, as I do post a new video every single day. Tomorrow we'll be back at it with something different. And that's all I gotta say. Love ya. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.